Hey everyone, I'm Coach Liz. I'm a coach and a runner based out of Boston, Massachusetts. Today I'm very excited to be meeting you all, and I will be answering some of the questions that I get asked most frequently as a running coach from beginner runners. And then interspersed in there, we'll also have some questions that'll help you get to know me a little bit better. So to get started, I'll start pulling some questions out of my handy dandy bucket hat here. All right, first one, do I run with music? I'm actually a little bit of a weirdo and I don't run with music. I prefer to run in silence or with the company of other people chatting and getting me through it. I will listen to a podcast if I am having trouble getting out the door though. All right, next question. Do I have any tips for treadmill running? Yes, the biggest tip I can give you for running on a treadmill is back up. You want to be able to use your full arm swing, and when you're crunched up against the dashboard of the treadmill, you can't use your full arm swing properly. Give yourself a little space. You won't fall off the back, I promise. Just back up a little bit, give yourself some extra room, and that will let you lengthen your stride properly and use your arms properly. All right, next up. Am I a morning, afternoon, or night runner? I am a bright and early morning runner. I like to get up before it's light out, get ready, and start my day off with a nice run. I will run in the afternoon or at night if my schedule necessitates it, but much prefer to run bright and early and get it in and get it done early, and that way there's no excuses later in the day. All right. Can I walk during a run? If you are new to running, yes, stop, take a break, admire the view. Do whatever you have to do to get through your run. I definitely, even now, take breaks when I run and take a little bit of a walk. It's good to make sure that your easy runs are easy, and if that means you have to stop and catch your breath and reset, go for it. Do whatever you gotta do to get through it. All right. What elements of my form should I focus on? If you are new to running, I wouldn't worry about, if you're landing on your heel or if you're landing on your toe or your foot falls. I would focus more on releasing some extra tension. So usually when we're running and things are feeling tough, our shoulders start to creep up around our ears. Drop it, relax your shoulders, focus on standing up straight and tall, roll your shoulders back. You can also unclench your fists and release some tension from your hands. You can imagine you're holding something delicate or soft in your hands, and just focus on having a nice, easy, gentle arm swing, standing up straight and tall, making sure that you're getting enough air into your lungs. For your leg form, I would think about just picking up your back foot quickly. So quick, light steps, nice and easy, and don't worry about cadence or where your footfall is or your foot strike. You don't have to worry about that until you're getting to be more advanced. Just focus on relaxing some tension and feeling nice and smooth and even and comfortable. All right. Should I stretch before or after a run? I think you should do both. Before your run, I would focus on dynamic warm-ups. So think about things like A-skips or knee drives or a nice easy jog and followed by some strides. Try to keep your warm-ups moving and dynamic. And then I would do a nice long stretch after your run. Sometimes I like to follow my run with just 10 to 15 minutes of yoga to just release some of the tension from especially the backs of your legs if you're doing speed work. It ends up being really nice, and hopefully that helps. All right. How much should I run a week? That is totally dependent on who you are and where you're at in running. If you're not running at all right now, don't run 7 days a week. Please don't do that. The general rule of thumb is week over week, don't increase your mileage more than 20% a week. So don't go from 0 miles to 7 miles, even if it's only 1 mile a day. That's a big jump for your body. take it easier. Start by running maybe every other day or every couple of days at first and build up. And so depending on where you're at, how much you run a week is totally up to you and how your body is feeling, and what your mileage looked like the week before. What shoes do I wear? I am a shoe addict. I wear a lot of shoes. I like to make sure I at least have a pair in rotation for everyday easy running, and then have a pair in rotation for speed work. And so for easy running, I like to wear the Nike Infinity React or the Nike Invincible. The Invincible is really bouncy, which is really fun and nice and easy to use. Both are very lightweight shoes, but they have a little bit more shoe and they're maybe a little bit more stable than something I would use for speed work. For speed work, I like to wear the Puma DV8 Nitro. They're really snappy and they're fun, and they're great over shorter distances, also very lightweight. And if you want, you can also buy a race shoe if you're training for a race or something like that. And I definitely use the Nike Next Percents for those. But you really don't need all of those shoes. The most important thing you can do when you get a new pair of shoes is to go and do a gait analysis, maybe at your local running shop. And they'll tell you what you need based on how you run. So I know that I tend to land on the outside of my foot a little bit, and so I need a shoe that's a bit more stable for my everyday runs. But I also know personally that I like my shoes to be more lighter weight. How can I start to learn what paces to run? This is a great question. I think the easiest thing that you can do when you start to learn what paces you want to run is gauge your effort rather than your speed. So start thinking of what an easy effort feels like, what a medium effort feels like, and what a hard effort feels like. And if you have a watch, I would cover up your watch and start running, and start with an easy effort pace. An easy effort should be conversational. You should be able to talk during it. You should be able to have a conversation with somebody as you're running, and your heart rate shouldn't get sky high. Just nice and easy. Easy means easy. And so then your medium effort pace, pick it up a little bit, see how that feels. Maybe having a conversation is difficult. Maybe you can get a few words out, but you don't really want to talk. That's a great medium effort pace. And then a hard effort, go for it. It should be really difficult to hold a conversation. You shouldn't be able to run forever at this pace. It should feel difficult. And then go back, look at your watch data afterwards and see what those different paces are shaking out to be. And from there, you can start gauging what paces to run on what days. Great. What running watch do I use? Big fan of the Garmin. I love my Garmin watch. I find that it's pretty accurate and it's a pretty good watch. I used to run with an Apple Watch. It was great too. I found that the Garmin synced better and was a little bit more precise outdoors than my Apple Watch was. I've heard great things about the Coros watches too. I think it depends on what you're doing, but definitely a big fan of the Garmin. All right. Do I use any running apps? I use the Garmin app, and that's where I keep all of my data. It syncs from my watch directly to the Garmin app. I used to use Strava. I was on there for a bit, but I found that I felt like I was falling into comparison trap and looking at my paces or my total miles compared to my friends. And so I left the app, and now I just track my own data and I keep things to myself, and I find that makes me feel more comfortable, and it's what I prefer to do. Just a few more here. Okay. What is my favorite distance to run? I'm a big fan of the half marathon. I think it's the perfect distance that for a nice challenge. You can put in a strong training cycle and see what your body can do at the end. I trained for one marathon. It was a long training cycle, and by the end I just felt really burnt out. The marathon is a beast of a distance, and I'll tackle it again at some point, but for now the half is where it's at, and that's my preferred distance to run. Does running ever get any easier? Yes, I promise it does. It will get better, it'll get easier. There's like a curve and you have to get over the hump for it to start feeling easier again. But that being said, you can run every day of the week and there's still gonna be runs that just feel difficult. And it happens, and I like to think that out of every 10 runs, maybe 3 feel really, really good, and then 3 feel really, really bad, and then 4, I don't remember. 4 are just not memorable enough for me to like take it into account. And so we run for those 3 really, really good runs out of 10, and I promise that it gets better, and as you get more comfortable and as you learn to love it more, it will get easier. And if things are feeling really, really difficult, slow down. Your easy runs should be taken very easy, and not every run needs to be a hard effort run. And I think once you remember that and remember to balance your easy runs with some hard effort runs and find that balance that works for you, running will start to feel better and you'll enjoy it more. I think that's a really good note to end on, and thank you everyone for your time. If you have more questions, feel free to drop them into the comments here. I'll do another one of these videos, and I'll do another one maybe geared towards more intermediate or advanced runners as well. Or feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. My handle is @LZPaige, spelled LZPAIGE. Shoot me a message. I'm happy to answer any questions for you. I'm here for you, and I'm really excited to be a new part of the IBX team. Thanks everyone.